Bootlickers in paradise, paradise, licking the boots of every officer twice. I like mine with pepper spray and buttons, 9 millimeters and 4 extra magazines, busting caps and unarmed people, 22 times more likely to be killed by a cop. Bootlickers in paradise, paradise. What's up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? So this is the John Mills Saga Part 2. This kid here, guy, kid, I don't know. Everyone seems like a kid to me now that I'm over 40. But this guy gets into it with one of my buddies, John Mills. John Mills doesn't express himself all that great. So he challenged me to a debate. And, well, he challenged John to a debate. So I told him I would debate him, made a video about him. He said, call me. We had a cordial conversation on the phone. And then John sends me this video of him, the guy I'm supposed to debate this week. Probably tomorrow if I can get a hold of him. Let's see.
A nonprofit organization is backing up Houston Police Officers Union President Joe Gamaldi. It's called Caps for Cops, and they are awarding Gamaldi its most distinguished award. It's called Beyond the Badge. They're supporting him after the controversial comments he made after that deadly police raid in January. That is right.
If you don't know what that means, this guy, Joe Gamaldi, the one holding the award with the glasses on, there was a botched raid on an innocent couple's home, the Tuttles, I believe. The Tuttles were murdered by Houston PD SWAT officers in plain clothes with no body cameras. They were absolutely murdered, and they murdered their dog, and they're claiming that Mr. Tuttle, with a 6-shot 357 revolver, was able to put 5 police officers in the hospital. If you believe that, I have a piece of property I want to sell you, and it's not the one in Frostproof, okay? So this kid is wearing a blue line flag. He's all about police culture, and he was defending Joe Gamaldi in the last video, and now he's presenting Joe Gamaldi an award. Here you go. And Joe Gamaldi's the guy. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was getting at. Joe Gamaldi, he's a police union president down there in Texas, I believe Houston. And when the cops went in and killed and murdered the family's dog and then murdered the husband and wife, they found out that it was on a warrant that was lied about, and that the guy who lied on the warrant, the cop who lied on the warrant, is involved in thousands of other cases that might have to get dismissed because he's a disgusting pig liar, and he lied and they murdered this couple. Okay? And then Joe Gamaldi came on a press conference, and he was angry that basically his own cops shot themselves, because I know a guy with 6-shot revolver can't put 5 heavily armed guys performing an assault into the hospital. They probably shot each other, if we're going to use common sense. So Joe Gamaldi's mad that when his guys stormed an innocent people's home, that they had the nerve to fire back and protect their home from armed thugs coming in their home. So Joe Gamaldi got on the air. I should pause this right now and find that video. Anyway, he went and did a press conference and said, for all you people who are saying police are the enemy, we're tracking you, we're watching you, and there will be repercussions or something of that nature if you keep going on with this rhetoric that police are the enemy. So basically what this Joe Gamaldi is saying, if you dare use your First Amendment to tell the truth about police, we're coming after you. And they've already started. They've already done it with Mexican Padilla, which I'm looking to interview him soon. So here's your Caps for Cops guy. His name's Joshua something. I'm supposed to be debating this guy. Let's see if he goes through with it. I'm actually writing stuff down here that I'm going to ask him. And here we go. He loves Joe Gamaldi and is presenting Joe Gamaldi with an award.
Now under investigation. Caps for Cops is saying, besides that raid being a, quote, bad situation, it supports the comments that Gamaldi made that night.
So Josh supports the comments of Joe Gamaldi that they're tracking and tracing, and there's going to be consequences for people who use their First Amendment rights against police. That's what he supports. That's what Joshua supports.
One very brave man stood in front of the cameras and said things that needed to be said. He has faced so much scrutiny from the men and women of the community, but more disgustingly, he's faced scrutiny from his own administration.
Because he went and had a press conference saying that if people dare use their First Amendment that he swore to protect, that he's going to come after them. How, Josh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying to be cordial to you, man, and you're willing to talk to me. At least that's what you said so far, but we'll see.
He didn't reflect the views of HPD. He reflected the views of 900,000 sworn police officers across this country.
That's a lie. Joe Gamaldi does not represent 900,000 police officers. He represents his own corrupt police union, and he went and made a press conference about if people dare use their First Amendment to criticize police and claim that we're the enemy, that we're going to come after you. That is treason, dude. People, the founding fathers would hang a man who dare say that about the American people.
You may remember Gamaldi received some backlash for speaking out that night against those.
Did you see that cop right there? Let me go back a few seconds. Watch the cop behind Gamaldi. When he starts saying his stupidity, you see the look on his face right there. When he starts saying his stupidity, even the cop right behind him, one of the 900,000, can't believe.
You may remember Gamaldi received some backlash for speaking out that night.
And watch his face.
Against those, what he called anti-police rhetoric, people who were spreading anti-police rhetoric, saying, quote, "We've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all."
We're going to keep track of all y'all people who use the First Amendment to express your feelings against police. That's who you're supporting, Josh? Really, dude? Really? There you go. John sent me that, so here you go, John. Here's video number 2, the John Mills Saga. Let's see if this guy is actually willing to debate me. Any of you want to watch this without me interrupting?
A nonprofit organization is backing up Houston Police Officers Union President Joe Gamaldi. It's called Caps for Cops, and they are awarding Gamaldi its most distinguished award. It's called Beyond the Badge. They're supporting him after the controversial comments he made after that deadly police raid in January that is right now under investigation. Caps for Cops is saying, besides that raid being a, quote, bad situation, it supports the...
A bad situation when the Houston PD... Sorry, I can't not interrupt. A bad situation when a bunch of plainclothes police officers go and murder a couple for doing nothing wrong. Yeah, that would be a bad situation, Josh. I agree. Way to play it down.
Comments that Gamaldi made that night.
One very brave man stood in front of the cameras and said things that needed to be said. He has faced so much scrutiny from the men and women of the community, but more disgustingly, he's faced scrutiny from his own administration. He didn't reflect the views of HPD. He reflected the views of 900,000 sworn police officers across this country.
You may remember Gamaldi received some backlash for speaking out that night against those, what he called anti-police rhetoric, people who were spreading anti-police rhetoric, saying, quote, "We've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all."
That means if you use your First Amendment rights, we're coming after you. That's what you support, Josh? All right, dude. You might be a little bit brainwashed. I'll contact you tonight and see if you still want to go through with this. Got a few questions for you. Oh, I forgot. I have a download about Gamaldi's past. Hold on. All right, I forgot I had this. So this is Joe Gamaldi, case number, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay, United States District Court, Eastern District of New York. Filed in clerk's office, August 31st, 2010. About 8 years ago. Plaintiff, Audie Wilson, okay, against the City of New York police officers David Siciliano and Joseph Gamaldi. Okay? Looks official to me. I can't confirm or deny this, but this is pretty easy to find. Plaintiff, by his attorney, S. Felix Natty, complaining of the defendants, the City of New York, and police officers Jane and John Doe's 1 through 4. Introduction. This is an action at law to redress the deprivation under color of statute. All right, I'm going to scroll slowly. I'm not going to read all this, just the important parts. Plaintiff seeking monetary damages, false imprisonment, detention, and malicious prosecution, and for the use of excessive and unnecessary force against said plaintiffs, and for subjecting said plaintiffs to malicious abuse of criminal process. Jurisdiction, invoke, state claims that have common nucleus, operative facts, plaintiff invoke jurisdiction, parties. Plaintiff's residence, City of New York, County of Kings, State of New York, 591 Rutland Road. Plaintiff is a black male of full age. I'm assuming that means over 18. City of New York. City of New York is a municipal entity existing under laws and Constitution of the State of New York. There you go. At all, blah, blah, blah. Individual defendants, New York City Police Officer Siciliano and Gamaldi were employed by police officers, City of New York, State of New York, and were acting under the color of their official capacity, and their acts were performed under the color of the statute and ordinance of the City of New York and the State of New York. The defendant's police officers were the servants, agents, employees of their co-defendant. On or about September 2nd, 2007, approximately 5 p.m., defendant police officers were on duty and were acting within the scope of their authority as police officers for the defendant, City of New York, and the furtherance of the business of the City of New York. On the date and time aforesaid, plaintiff was lawfully a spectator exiting a stadium at Carnacy, Brooklyn, after a friendly soccer game when the defendant's police officers from City of New York unlawfully and without probable cause brutally attacked plaintiff from behind, threw plaintiff violently to the ground, kicked and beat plaintiff without explanation. Without just cause or provocation, the defendant police officers then proceeded to direct several racial slurs and insults at the plaintiffs, called him an N-word, and threatened him with more bodily harm. When plaintiff demanded to know why he was being attacked, beaten, and guns drawn and pointed at him, the defendant police officers, Gamaldi, Joe Gamaldi, and Siciliano, told the plaintiffs to shut up and repeatedly called plaintiff Palmer a effing N-word. Without any reason or explanation given to the plaintiffs, the defendant police officers proceeded to assault and brutally placed in handcuffs on the plaintiffs. At the precinct, plaintiff was fingerprinted and photographed. Thereafter, he was retained in custody against his will for many hours and falsely accused of firing gunshots while in the stadium as a spectator, although no gun was recovered from the plaintiff. In an attempt to cover up their said assault, false arrest, battery, and false imprisonment of the plaintiffs, the defendant police officers issued a bogus summons charging plaintiff Wilson with a bogus criminal offense. The case was subsequently dismissed for lack of evidence. This is your hero, Joe Gamaldi here, Josh. The actions taken against the plaintiffs. All right, so there you go. I'm going to scroll through here. You can slowly and surely read it if you want. I'm not going to read the rest of this. But you see what Siciliano and Gamaldi did to this guy. Tackled him from behind, started beating, kicking him. Guns out, calling him an effing N-word over and over again and telling him to shut up. Then they put false charges against him. And what else did they do? I think you got it. And then now Josh is here in Texas collecting bottle caps, about $700 worth so far, so that he can go and present Joe Gamaldi with an award for threatening Americans if they dare to use their free speech and redress their grievances with the police force. So there you go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And let's see if this guy goes through with this debate. We'll see what happens. He said he's going to have ground rules for me. I told him I wasn't going to cuss at him or call him any names or anything, and he had nothing to worry about. So ground rules, we'll see what that is. And we'll go from there. All right. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and peace and chicken grease. Bye.